This is, this is so surreal that I'm trying to think. Obviously, being Browns fans as we are, we have over the years we've had the whole AFC North. I remember there was a moment where if you did the records of Big Ben, Joe Flacco, and then even Andy Dalton, and I was like, what's most surprising, or what's more embarrassing? And it was Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton had a dominant record against us.
Andy Dalton was like 12-3.
And the reason I asked the question is this is so one-sided, but the stakes. What's crazy is you had these two teams. You had Detroit trying to stave us off, and yet we flipped the script entirely and are annihilating them. We are sucking the will from every single player, every single Detroit Tiger in their front office. Actually, I know somebody in their front office. Oh, boy.
We both do.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, my gosh, that's right.
I'm not going to text him.
No.
If you want to text him, I'm not going to text him.
I'm not going to out him either. He doesn't need that at 6 in the morning.
And then their fan base.
Oh, my gosh.
Their fan base entirely. I mean, think about it. If you're Detroit and you're like, well, at least we've got a two-time Cy Young Award winner that's going to go twice against the Guardians. I mean, there's no way that we're not at least going to get one of those. Nope, we took both.
We said before the 6-gamer, they had to go 5-1, and they got to pitch Scooble twice in that. And they're not.
I'm sorry. That's the actual feeling. That guy, the guy you know him better than I do. But he is usually very boisterous about them on social media. Mm-hmm. And he has been as quiet as a casket the last few weeks. I didn't realize. I forgot. I totally forgot.
Might have deleted his account.
We might have just got to get down on Friday over the last few weeks, and that's about it. Like, that's it. Oh, my gosh. Like, it's it. So, I got to tell you, I'm more surprised they won today than they did yesterday, than I was yesterday. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the thing in my head is working with. I'm like, Jack Flaherty, he's been bad, but I'm like, and then Bobby's laboring at the beginning of this, and I'm going, well, and I thought that they both did. What were you going to say, Owen? I'm sorry. Where you go? Oh,
I'm just agreed. This game, last night's game, they went into that. They could have went into that and said, we're still in first place. It's a tie, right? But we're still in first place. It's time to sack up and let's go get one, boys. And they did not do that at all.
I think it's because of basketball. Like, you see, 20-point leads, and we were like, 20-point leads evaporate really quickly. But usually it's like you take up so much energy getting back from 20 points. It's like, all right, the Knicks are back within it's a one-possession game. And it's like, then it starts to, somebody hits a three, then it becomes 8, then it becomes 10 again. Timeouts are happening because it takes so much to get back. And it's baseball. It's every day. So it's not like a basketball game. And you don't think about it in that term. And it's like, I really did. I just thought, I was like, maybe Bobby's laboring tonight. It's 1-0. We'll see how it goes. Like, I wasn't like, well, down in the dumps or anything. I just wouldn't have been surprised. Where also, the Tigers have now lost, 10 in a row? The Tigers have lost 8 in a row. They've lost 8 in a row. Like, guys, you don't just lose 8 in a row in September.
At this time of the year.
Yeah, because when I looked at it yesterday, I thought it was either 9 or 7, and I'm going, they got to be due at some point. They got to be due at some point.
And they're still in the playoffs right now.
Yes, they are. They hold our old spot. They have a 1-game lead over the Houston Astros in the wild card.
5 in a row.
Who've lost. God, everybody's falling apart. Everybody's hitting
it. Okay, so traditionally, the way, this end of the season after the old-time call-ups and everything is there's a bunch of teams not playing for anything. So you do see, some erratic, irregular, standing jumping, but it's not supposed to be at the top with two teams that are supposed to be rivals that know each other very well. It's not supposed to be this. So this is craziness.
I have a weird thing to tell everybody because usually it's like, all right, let's set it up, knock it down. What's a question? Ask the question, throw out the number, let's go back and forth. I think that it has to be said, like, you need to take a moment at some point today. I don't need you to go to the solstice steps or anything like that, but you have to realize we're living in history here. We are living in incredible history. And Lima, you brought up the person in Detroit. I go to some people I know in New York who are Mets fans. And they're beside, like, I got one buddy, Pete, who works over at WFAN, and he's a Mets fan, and he's like, well, I'm glad Major League Baseball got what they wanted. I'm glad Major League Baseball got what they wanted. A bunch of people falling over and a great big garbage baseball time. Like, they are freaking out in New York over the Mets. And rightfully so. I think they're 5-12 in their last 17. Like, it's been a bad run for the New York Mets here. Like, I'm just using examples of teams that have spent a lot of money that aren't getting what they wanted out of this season. Like, you have to understand this. And I know we play the money thing. It's impossible to talk about Major League Baseball, especially in this market, without talking about the money we don't have or the money we refuse to spend or whatever. But it's really distressing a lot of fan bases out there, because the Mets have had a collapse. A couple of other teams, I mean, the Astros, they're falling through the walls here. And then the Tigers, and this is history. This is historic. What you're watching is history. And I don't know if we'll live to ever see such a thing ever again. It's so improbable. I cannot stress it enough. If they would have held on to Shane Bieber, it's like, all right, maybe we'll go for it. Carlos Santana was not helping, so he's not a great example, I understand. But I got to tell you, I listened to that game like when they were like, hey, we're letting go of Carlos Santana. And it was like right when they were playing the Rays, and I watched that game. I did both. And there was this feeling in the ballpark, and I got to tell you, on the broadcasts of it's just not our year. It's just not our year. That is not it. And by the way, that ain't a shot at anybody at all, because all that would have been at that time was common sense. That's all that would have been. These are people who live in the game, who watch the game, who know what front offices do. And at that time, everybody was just like, it ain't our time. And it was like the Rays, they're getting ready to make a run. The Rays are getting ready to do this. And they're 77-81 right now. I just have them right in front of me. They are eliminated. And you somehow stayed alive. You have to enjoy. I know who I sound like. You have to take a moment to enjoy this, because I don't think we'll ever see it again. I can't say, well, I know we've seen come from behinds before and September runs before from this organization. Nothing like this. This is unbelievable. This is. I mean, the last time this was done at 15 games was like 1912. That's before anybody listening was alive, before the medium even existed. Like, you have to take this into account of just how big this is in professional sports.
And it's hard. I think it's well said. It's hard, Kenny, for us as fans to sit back and, have anything other than negative views when it was the almost the litany of bad news for our team this year. And not just the 2 losing streaks that we had, substantial losing streaks, but the suspensions and then at the trade deadline, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Detroit added at the deadline. On paper, we subtracted at the deadline. You can make the point that obviously losing one of our guys actually made us better, Carlos Santana. I mean, right? I think
that's only been a month, though,
but
guys.
He was no help. He was no help, but it just had this feeling of like, okay, well, we're going to let him go and try to be with a contender because we can't contend.
He played his last game with the Guardians a month ago. It's not like that was a deadline. Yeah. I mean, and you're starting to see the fruit of that payoff in not so much Manzardo getting more plate appearances, which is great, and he's absolutely earned them, but he's actually starting to look like a first baseman. And he made
a play last night.
I didn't think that we'd ever get to that point. He had
one line to him sharply, too. He's playing the position a little better.
That's one of those things that now, like, you probably, as they make this run and go, well, yeah, but look who they're going to trot out now. Well, now he's got a month of seasoning on it, and I know it's only a month, and he's probably going to have a misstep in the playoffs, but I'm way more confident in him, 1,000 times more confident today than I was a month ago of him playing that position.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. That doesn't mean I don't ever want the Guardians to make moves at the deadline. We'll be sour every deadline that we don't make moves.
Those people that we talked about this last week, and like, well, if the silver lining of maybe not making the playoffs is it'll force the front office to make more moves. No, it won't. They're not going to change the way they do business. They haven't changed the way they've done business for 20 years. Why would they change it now? Making the run was enough to justify what they've been doing. And so the business is going to continue as it always has been until new money gets in there. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. I think we have to look at it, though, and go, thank God they at least know how to develop players. We are not a team that just goes and buys guys in hopes that it works out, right?
They have to be.
They have to develop players, and they continue to do that, and those players continue to step up when they're called upon.
It is, when you think about it, this is why the general public gets mad at baseball, because if you're doing it well in a small to mid-market, then you're basically more like your city than any other team. The Cavs live a life that none of us live. They can spend money on anything. The Browns live a life that none of us live. They can spend money on everything. And it's pro sports, so we want to fantasize about it. But when it comes to baseball, it's like, well, this is just a good interest rate, and this is good savings for the future. And it's like, but what are we doing here? Are we doing our bills? What is this?
Yeah, we thought we'd be fantasizing about a team.
Yes. So it's
make believe.
You have to go, well, they got to be more Cleveland than any of the other teams in the city. They're more Cleveland than any of them because we live more like the Guardians in our lives than we would any of the other teams. But fans don't want that in pro sports. And I understand that. But boy, when it really goes well, man, it feels great. It feels great. It feels great when, you got to be honest, when the jerk down the street did something wrong and he's getting thrown out of the house and you're just a good guy and a good husband, and that's the way it feels. And I don't think the Tigers are the jerk down the street, but when you see the bitching and moaning going on with some fan bases in some major markets, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, this is working out. Boy, the steady way that we've done things is working out. I think it makes it that much better. Winning is always going to cure everything, and they're winning in significant fashion. I mean, again, George Valera, who they called up, it's like, okay, well, let's see.
13 games.
Let's see what the kid does and, see where it goes. He's hitting home runs in the place that they're shooting the lights off and things like that, and he's going nuts. I mean, it's a playoff atmosphere. It is very much so. Now, there were some people who were a little bit upset at the beginning of the game, which I'm going, guys, it was the 36-minute rain delay. I think some people were kind of walking around the city debating on whether or not they were going to go in or not. Like, well, they've held games up before, but I felt the place was coming apart when George Valera hit the home run. When Jose hit the single that turned into a double that should have just always been a single for 99% of ball players, place went ape. I mean, these are significant playoff types of moments.
Had he have hit a grand slam, it would have been anxious moments for anybody that brought their toddlers. Kenny, as my wife keeps refreshing me. Last night again, we had an update. How is she bringing her toddler? Isn't it too loud? What about the nap time? What is going on? This is going to disrupt the next week for that family. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring my toddler.
If you don't take that boy or even
Izzy's the one I'd want to take.
A clincher.
Because she can at least dance.
How old is she?
She can at least celebrate a little bit.
How old is she now?
3 years and change.
They've got the Cleveland Guardians Smucker's Uncrustables Kids Clubhouse that you can take her to.
Instead of Dollar Dogs, it's just Dollar Uncrustables?
All right, we got to have that debate a little bit later on.
Should you do like 15 of those?
I can't believe I'm saying
Gotta
this.
Be up there.
I actually kind of agree with Sarah Ono. For a totally different warped reason.
What?
A totally different warped reason. I don't want to turn her into Joan Crawford over there, so I gotta try to see it from her way, because I only hear one side of all of this. So I always try to go, well, I only hear one side. I'm not texting her, because it'd be great if I text her, go, hey, your husband was just bitching about you. What do you say about this situation? I'm not gonna do that. So I always try to go, well, and I kind of see where she's coming from, and I'll tell you later on why. This is not the time for the vote. Sorry, if you saw me on YouTube, I was reacting to something else we just saw in the news. I gotta be careful. I was like, well, what's the matter with Stephen Voten? What's he say? No. He just saw something up on the TV. Welcome back. Guardians are a game ahead where our magic number's down to 2. We didn't have a magic number for the playoffs. Okay, what about for the division?
3.
We didn't even have a magic number to begin the week.
Which, if they win today, the division playoff or the division magic number goes to 1 because it's a combination of wins and losses. So.
Yeah.
This is unreal.
Usually I try to find some sport. There's always sports hate. There's very few guys in sports now, approaching 40 years old. There's very few guys in sports I actually hate personally. Hate's a strong word. Dislike, like wouldn't want to be around. There's plenty of guys like that, but hate, it's like, I don't care about you enough to hate you. But there's sports hate, and there's guys who I hate in sports, like Draymond Green. Hated him a long time. I respect his play, but I hate him in sports-wise. Steph Curry, certainly there's a lot of respect there, but I hate him sports-wise.
Now, you want to see pain in terms of losing. Yes. You want to see humiliation. You want to see bad stories about them emerge. Anything that causes unrest in their fan base. That's all part of the sports hate
live
stuff.
For it. Yeah, and I think it's a healthy thing to have. I don't like the people just like, just take it all in. Like, no, sports is based on good versus evil. Your side is good, their side is evil. That's what makes it fun. I love that, and I will always try to protect that. However, there are special circumstances. And I saw the report from Zach Meisel, who will join us today at 9:01 from The Athletic, that Tarek Skubal visited David Fry in the hospital after getting him in the face with the fastball. It was an accident. You could tell right away it was an accident. Tarek Skubal visited him. But there's also a little twist to that story. He rode to the hospital with Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt gave Tarek Skubal a ride to go visit David Fry in the hospital, which is sportsmanship personified in so many ways.
Or was Vogt actually on a side gig and he does drive an Uber and it just happened to be that he was right there when he flagged down the ride?
I think, listen, we make a lot of Guardians jokes. I would hope that they pay him enough where these are like, well, you know what? He does work nights.
And thank God thank God it's Stephen Vogt now who has a whole vehicle and not just a moped.
Oh, that would have been rough. Trying to do that with Tito.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Bopping down Euclid.
It's bad on the shocks of that moped, depending on who you like. If I call an Uber with Terry Francona, that's going to be bad for that moped. It'll be a bad time.
I make a few stops beforehand.
I had 2 mopeds.
Some fun to be had
back in the day.
I've heard.
Oh yeah, those were fun times. I can't hate Tarek Skubal. No, I don't think anybody can hate
Kenny,
Tarek Skubal.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this.
The story, but you don't hate Tarek Skubal.
I hate the story because he's so damn. In this case, he's breaking rank with all the stuff that we like to conjure up as sports talk show hosts and fans, which is hatred, animosity. I wanted to hate Skubal. I wanted him to, at some point, go, yeah, it's a pennant chase, and I did it on purpose. Like, you want that just so you can hate his guts and despise every fiber of his being. And talk, what about beating them and going online, and all I'm seeing online is kumbaya and everybody kind of holding hands. And boy, this is so nice between two combatants pitching against one another for the highest stakes possible. No, these guys like each other. These guys are nice. I hate this. I wanted it to be hatred.
If you can find me a way that I could still hate Tarek Skubal, please let me know. And I understand that there was some gesturing, some
last year in the playoffs. He gave some.
Yeah, it was out there like he was. Like, I don't know what the signals he was doing. Was he Randy Orton or something out there with everybody? Like, what was going on?
Well,
here?
He wasn't giving the throat slash or anything like that, but he did try to quiet fans down last year. You remember that during the big playoff series?
I remember I remember that, but I still wasn't that. I wasn't that emotionally caught up. At least I don't remember being that
it didn't
upset.
stick with me. We had some people tweeting us yesterday about him being a jerk
until people brought it up. But we won the series.
Probably because we won.
I was at Game 5. I saw the Grand Slam.
Yeah, I felt
that's
the same
what
way.
sticks with me.
Like, we remember everything between the Yankees and Josh Naylor and everything. That was a bit of a saga. And then in the end, we end up losing, and they're all chanting against him, and that sticks with us. The Skubal thing really didn't.
Can I just ask you something? It's a 3.5 mile drive. I'm sure there were stoplights. What do you talk about? I don't know how well they know each other. Like, Vogt's a younger guy, but as a manager, but so is, how old's Tarek Skubal? 26? 27? Have they ever crossed paths?
Yeah, what kind of
before this?
Skubal is 28 years old.
Okay, so were they ever in the same system?
That's what I'm looking
at all
now. I don't think so.
Like, Tarek Skubal wasn't traded from the A's to the Tigers at all, was he, or anything like that? I'm trying to connect them at all, other than
He's been with the Tigers forever. So
so they're both baseball. They're just both baseball guys, and they were right. So what do you talk about the stoplight? Because you're like, okay, get in my truck. Well, I'll take it. We'll go together. And then you have to arrive, and it's like, well, I got to make a conversation. We just can't sit here in silence. Like, do you look over and like, oh, you guys are really hitting the bleeps, huh? Like, do you try to break the ice there?
Yeah,
like,
do you talk about the game? Do you talk about...
What do you do? Right. Because it's like, this guy just hit my player in the face by accident. We're going to go check on him. We don't know if he's going to need surgery or not. 3.5 miles is longer than you think in city. And there's got to be lights. And so do you listen to the radio? There has to be something
Were they going to Metro?
It said Lutheran, and then Cleveland Clinic.
Then it went to the main campus of the clinic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if they have that kind of relationship. Can Vogt bust his chops about the snap?
The night he pitched?
The snap through his leg. Not even the pitch, because that's... Can he be like, all right? Or is Scooble...
what are you thinking?
Or is Scooble going, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Kind of looking for some either grace or... Some kind of like, I've been in that situation before. No, we've never seen anything like that. I
think if Scooble is, because it takes some guts on Scooble's part. Who knows? I'm sure Steven offered the ride, right?
Yeah.
So it takes some guts on Scooble's part to go, yeah, I'll take the ride instead. And it's 3 miles. You can Uber that. And, he's obviously he doesn't have a car here. He's with the team traveling, so the ride had to be offered up, and he had to take it. So at some point, you got to go, I don't know what I was doing, man. I thought I was going to make a highlight play.
He could offer it, but at the same time, I've seen there's a bunch of things I've seen over the last couple of years, like ball players standing outside waiting on Ubers in different cities. And so maybe he's cognizant of that. It's like, dude, I'm on the road. I just got done.
I'm sure he probably went into to Vogt's office and just said, hey, I just want you just to make sure you know none of that was intentional. I feel horrible.
And it was, hey, I'm going too. You can just come with me.
Hop in the truck.
We won't be there for that terribly long. I'm sure they got updates that he's stable. And, again, it wasn't like he was, thank God.
And Vogt mentioned that in the post game 2 nights ago, that he never lost consciousness or anything. Yeah. He wanted to make sure people knew that, and that I'm sure he knew he wasn't going to be there all night. They had a game the next day.
Yeah. And then how long you staying? That's the other. Anytime you go to the hospital to go visit somebody.
The biggest part is I don't think Fry's family's not here.
Walking backwards.
So probably just to make sure that everything got good to go,
I used to wait till Mom fell asleep and go, I'm just going to slink out of here now.
There's no good way to do it. Do you announce that you're leaving now? All right, everybody.
You wait until the nurse comes in and goes, hey, we got to check some vitals. And go, I'm going to step out.
Mom would start saying some words, and I'd start looking at my phone and looking up at the IV going, okay, this is going to be about 5 more minutes. Slink out of there.
It's always awkward.
And then I'd always look and go, well, she ain't going to eat that. I might as well eat it. I don't want to let it go to waste.
You are paying for it.
Mom would want... No, my dad was paying for it.
It's all getting paid for.
Yeah, I'm sure it's what's getting it.
They still send the bill to Ken Carmen, and it could show up at your house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's happened before. And Mama would want me to eat this pudding. David, I mean...
She can have the ice chips.
You might be... Well, David could still have the milkshake. I don't know if he could have the mashed potatoes and the corn and everything else. So, I mean, maybe Tarek wanted to eat that.
UH still had Choco Tacos a couple years ago.
The question, let me ask you this. Judas Priest, really? Let me ask you this. Is it still the matchup where they could meet the Detroit Tigers in the postseason? Is that still the matchup?
Right now, if the season ended today.
I don't think you should say anything, or even Owen should say anything we can't take back. Because what if, God forbid... Well, he could end up, say he ends up pitching his ass off against us. And he is out there on that mound like Ric Flair. Everything we've said...
Yeah, it goes out the window. We'll destroy the tape.
It goes out the window. Now, I could always look at him and go, hey, he's a decent enough humanitarian, but I hate his guts sports-wise because of all this going on.
I know we got to go, and this would be a terrible example to set for the youth of America.
I will run this thing right over the commercial break. I don't care.
Do you think that... him being such a good guy, do you think now he can't come back from that? There were people saying, he was so emotionally shaken up by what had transpired that they should have just pulled him.
Well, I sure hope so.
They should have pulled him.
I thought I was talking to one of the guys I was talking to the security guard, Murray. I said, you just pull him. You should have just pulled him. It's hard to do because you're grown men, and you're supposed to kind of be able to mentally get through something like that, as sick as it is to say, but probably should have just pulled him.
Is it part of you thinking, what would Curt Schilling do in that situation? Besides, go online and talk politics.
Man, I was going to do it. Damn it.
Invest in a 989 gaming.
But, like, do you have to be a jerk? Do you have to be a jerk in this situation? If the roles were reversed, what would Guardians fans be saying about such a great display of, just a human, like a human part of this?
Some things are a little bit bigger than just the uniform, right? You want some sort of feeling there. You don't want, like, could you imagine if he was like, hey, it's baseball, whatever happens, happens. I don't want to say if he dies, for crying out loud, but whatever happens, happens. I mean, we'd be going nuts right now. I mean, Tarek Skubal wouldn't even be able to go out to the bullpen. The fans be going ape, wouldn't they? So it's like, well, at least he showed some humanity there, which is the least you can ask for. 216-474-0092. I'm just saying, I don't want to be too flowery with the guy when you still might have to go against him in the postseason coming up here, because things could change very, very quickly by the end of next week.